Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We wish to our lecturer for subject IMR652, Dr. Khairunisa binti Syekh Abdul Muttalib. We are from IM244, Library Management from UiTM Merbuk. We produce magazine about business record management. Our mission is to give to audience about the story behind business record management. The cover page was designed by our editor in the term of professionalism. Let's have a look about the editors and authors of this magazine. This magazine led by Siti ZARIFAH binti RADZI as editor and author, and our co-editor and author SYUHADA binti SHUKRI, FATIN KHALILAH binti SAHARUDIN, and LIYANA IZZATI binti NIZAM. This magazine consists about 46 pages. The first topic that we discuss in this magazine is what is business record management. Under this topic, there are 6 definitions that related to business record management. First definition is business. Business is any organization, either in public or private. The organization provide goods or service and earn profit. Next is what is management. Management is the process of reaching organizational goal by working with and through people and other organizational resource. 4 basic management process is planning, organizing, leading, and controlling. Next is business record. Business record is the business information that contain the transaction between 2 or more parties in the form of electronic and paper document. Next is business management. Business management is the general management of business operation that work toward organization goal and objective, as well as align and organizational with the want and need of client. Next is record management. Record management is general administrative management that concern in making the information that is contained available in support of organization business. It's also the disposal of organization records. Lastly is business record management. Business record management is a field of management responsibility for the efficient and systematic control of the creation, maintenance, use, and disposition of business record. Next topic is about type of business organization. There are 4 types of business organization. First is sole proprietorship. Second, partnership. Third, cooperation. Fourth, cooperative. The definition for sole proprietorship is it is a type of business where there is no legal distinction between the business and the owner. They are popular choice for small business due to the low initial cost and less regulation. Next is partnership. Partnership is a formal agreement between 2 or more individuals who agree to run a business together. Partnership agreement clearly state the amount of authority, potential profit, and liabilities that each partner is due. Third is cooperation. Cooperation are companies that have been given the authority to operate as a single entity. When the company's owner incorporates their business, they essentially separate their personal liability from that of the company. Fourth is cooperative. Cooperative is a company run purely for the benefit of the people who own it and consume its service. This means that the company distributes its profit to its members, often known as user owner. For the topic type of business organization, we focus at sole proprietorship. We was talk about sole proprietorship and tax compensation in self-assessment system, a theory of planned behavior approach. There are 4 theoretical frameworks about tax and sole proprietorship, and it is tax complaints, attitude toward performing the behavior, perceived behavioral control, and problem solving ability.
Assalamualaikum, my name is SITI ZARIFAH binti RADZI. For the page 10 is the importance of record management. The significance of record management can be found in how it manages information that has been created, received, maintained, and disposed of the document. The first is better workflow. The truth is the most organizations do not analyze the time spent keeping or searching for document, making it difficult to determine how much time is wasted in the process. The second is cost saving. Digital record management offers notable cost saving by reducing storage fee and improving the efficiency of the team. For the next page is effective retrieval. This level of retrieval capability allows manager or department leads to have all the information they need right at their fingertips and enable them to achieve smarter, more deliberate outcomes time and time again. Fourth of the importance of record management is minimizing the risk of record management. This risk in much the same way the legal counsel or an insurance policy that might protecting against unwelcome and unexpected future events. And the last is protect the data. The font that we use is a Open Sans, and I choose the purple and red color to attract the reader to read this article.
Next, on page 15, is about 5 essential records management procedures. A compliant record and information management program, also known as RIM, is imperative for all organizations to manage their physical and electronic records throughout their life cycle. There are 5 steps in order to manage the records. Step 1 is set up a records retention schedule. The development of an accountable records retention policy is required to determine how long to keep records. A records retention schedule specifies how long documents should be maintained for operational and legal purpose, as well as how old records should be discarded in a timely and systematic manner. When determining the retention period for the records, it's important to perform a record inventory of all physical and electronic records, establish a standardized record classification system, and conduct research on all federal, state, and local requirements. Step 2 is policies and procedures. Legally and operationally, records management programs should complement rules and process. The benchmark for a compliant records management system is determined by policies and procedures. They should encompass all records and media kinds, including email in their management, records retention, active files, unused files, emails, and other aspects of information management may all have their own policies. The policies and practice for records management should be clearly defined and applied consistently throughout the company. Step 3 is accessibility, indexing, and storage. The ability to access the information when someone needs it is a key component of a good records management program. Companies demand quick access to information for day-to-day operations and compliance obligations. An online document management system, often known as a DMS, can be used to store and retrieve electronic data. Off-site record storage service secure information in climate control conditions, freeing up office space for archived documents that are required by law to be kept in physical form. Users or staff can easily recover documents saved off-site by locating a vendor that offers scan-on-demand services for data stored off-site. Move to the next page. Step 4 is compliance auditing. Employees that do not follow a company's records management policies and process will never obtain a successful outcome from an organization's records management system. The records management program should be audited on a regular basis to guarantee staff compliance. Components of a records management audit should include retention schedule complies with up-to-date laws and regulations, indexing accuracy and accessibility of documents, training and communication among staff and departments, protection and preservation of records, and timely and consistent destruction of inactive files. A comprehensive audit of records management practice will guarantee that historical records are routinely kept and destroyed in a compliant and well-enforced way across the company. Step 5 is disposal of obsolete records. It's time to get rid of old documents when a business has structured its archive and chosen the best retention policy. When companies keep papers longer than they need to, they risk data breach and hefty penalties. Finalize the records retention policy by destroying backlog files in a compliant manner using shredding service with chain of custody process. When considering a records management and shredding company, it's essential to determine the type of shredding program suitable for the media or paper records. Ensure all access personnel are background screened at the local, state and national level, and provide a certificate of destruction for chain of custody documentation. Records management plans that include the prompt destruction of records that have reached the end of their life cycle lower the chance of a prospective audit, legal risks, and storage costs. Now, we move to the records management program in business matter. For some people, maintaining records is one of the most boring and time-consuming business tasks that can be assigned to anyone in a company. In addition, most individuals have no idea what records management is, making it easy to overlook an activity that is both misunderstood and crucial to a company's success. Many records are stored on paper, but in this digital age, electronic records are becoming more common. The importance of records management and the influence it has on the business cannot be overstated. Someone simply cannot do business without them, which is why they must be handled. First is to control the creation and growth of records. An effective records management program can cover both creation control and records retention, which is a mechanism for eliminating useless information or retiring inactive records, so it will limit the expansions of documents in all formats. Second is to reduce operating costs. In order to maintain an orderly file system or to seek lost data when there is no organized system, administrative funds are needed for filing equipment, office space, and staffing. So, Simply by implementing a records management program, someone may save money on space and equipment while also maximizing the productivity of the employees. Third is to improve efficiency and productivity. Searching for lost or misfired records is a waste of time. A strong records management program can assist any organization in upgrading its record-keeping system, resulting in improved information retrieval and increased office efficiency and productivity. A well-designed and well-maintained filing system with an effective index can facilitate retrieval and can provide information to users as quickly as they need it. Fourth is to minimize litigation risk. Records management procedures are also implemented by business organizations to limit the risk of litigation and related penalties by allowing for systematic, routine document destruction in the normal course of business. A well-implemented records management program can mitigate the risk associated with document disposal. Fifth is to safeguard vital information. Every organization, public or private, must safeguard its critical documents and information from catastrophe or disaster, as they are all vulnerable to loss. Vital records programs, which are part of a larger records management program, secure the integrity and confidentiality of the most significant records, while also safeguarding vital information assets according to a plan to protect the data.
A stakeholder is a person who has an interest in the company, IT service or project. They can be the employee of the company, owner of the company, supplier, vendor or any partner. Owner is a pupil who will organize, manage and assume the risk of starting a business. Employers has a clear stake in the company since they earn a living and receive other perks. For investors are particularly interested in a firm because their investment is contingent on the company performance. Investors expect financial returns on their investment and only invest when they are confident that they will get a return over a given length of time. For supplier, partners such as a contractor and vendor are stakeholders because they may rely on the company corporation to success as their own firms. These stakeholders may oversee business loan, employee salaries and operating expenses. A customer is a stakeholder on its own because a company action can improve the local community operates within. A company impact on a community can be widespread because a business can bring with it new jobs and more economic development. The role of stakeholder is to direct the management. Stakeholder can serve on the board of directors and contribute to decision making. Second is bring the money. Stakeholders are the company's largest investor and they can withdraw or deposit funds at any time. Third is a decision making. Stakeholder can make a choice alongside the other board members. Fourth is a corporate confine. They have the power to compel the corporation to follow human rights and environmental regulation. And for last is a other responsibility. They can identify the new areas for market penetration and increase the sales.
Next, how to secure and improve records management. Improving records management and security for successful business performance, the role of new media. New media has become a powerful factor in reshaping records management and information security in order to achieve successful business outcomes. Paper documents could be read and convert automatically into electronic files with the advent of new media, saving man-hours of costly data entry work. Records management plays a vital role in order to running a successful business, and because business handles sensitive information on a regular basis, security is a major concern, since preserving the context and structure of records and facilitating access to them is best performed in the electronic environment. It is suggested that electronic records be reliable and securely stored in their electronic form. There are a few ways to measures used to protect records. First is access to records. Depending on the content of the record, the level of security required will differ. Some records may be of very low sensitivity, needing minimal or no security. Others will be extremely sensitive, necessitating extreme security. The level of sensitivity of a record should determine its accessibility. When someone has assessed how sensitive a document is, they must consider who needs to have access to it and who should have access to it. Next, authenticity of records. This will apply to both hard copy and electronic records. Maintaining the integrity of electronic records presents some unique challenges. For instance, email records or data stored in a database, both of which can be easily updated. Controlling access to the record or data, knowing who has responsibility for and access to the record or data, preventing accidental or malicious change as much as possible, and checking the accuracy of the information or data recorded at regular intervals are some of the measures that should be taken. Next, transferring records. If data or information must be delivered to a third party or another location, whether inside or outside the business, all appropriate security procedures must be taken to safeguard it while in transit. This includes mailing in the most appropriate format or packaging, as well as properly addressing. Next, location of records. Both electronically and physically, records should be preserved properly and securely. When unattended, sensitive documents should not be left on the desk or on the computer screen. At the end of their lifetime, organizations should think about the best way to dispose of their records. Next, preservation of records. Organizations should decide on which format or medium to retain records in and select the one that is most likely to be secure. They may need to back up their documents to protect against the loss, especially if they are crucial or business critical in some way. Next, preventing from fraud and theft. Certificate shredding and off-site storage are two records management practices that attempt to keep sensitive information safe. In many cases, the perpetrator is simply looking for some additional cash when he comes across some financial documents lying around the office. These documents contain information such as credit card numbers, tax identification numbers, bank account numbers, and more. What are electronic records? A record stored on an electronic medium that may be easily accessed or changed is referred to as an electronic record. Any information that is stored in a machine-readable format is considered an electronic record. Numeric, graphic, audio, video, and textual information recorded or transmitted in analog or digital form, such as electronic spreadsheets, word processing files, database, electronic mail, instant messages, scanned images, digital photograph, and multimedia files are all examples of electronic records. By Oyedokun, 2012. Next, we move to recommendations for organizations. There are 5 recommendations. When the operating system or software programs are modified or upgraded, a proactive maintenance strategy should be created to guarantee that active digital records are eligible for future usage. Second, loss of data can occur when the system fails. For this reason, organizations should ensure that backup copies are stored and can be obtained in another location. Third, legal and administrative needs, national and international standards, and best practice for record keeping in an electronic context should all be met by records management systems. Fourth, risk assessment, policy development, training, management strategies, and other activities, as well as technology, are all things that organizations must invest in. The last one is electronic records should only be created, captured, and deleted by authorized personnel.
In page 37, we put the article about market research technique. Market research is a systematic process of collecting, analyzing, interpreting information. There are two types of marketing research technique, which are primary market resources and secondary market resources. Primary market resources is a market research that conducted by a corporation or firm to acquire information that may be utilized to improve product, service, and operation. There are three approaches that used in this primary, such as survey, observational method, and experimental. For the secondary research is a research technique that does not try to obtain information from scratch, but instead relies on information that is already available from different sources method.
Record management process. Record management is information that receive and maintain the information as evident by the organization or person. It also can take as a form of paper, digital file, photo, and so on. There are 5 record management process, and it is the process of record life cycle from the usage, creation, and also maintenance. The first record management process is create or receive. It is the beginning of record management and processing the information. It starts with the creation or receiving of a document that is related to an organization or activity. Second is use or modify. For this, records are usually used and also distributed to the employees. The active basis varies can depend on the nature of the record, but the usage of the rate easily can decrease as the record enter the inactive stage. Third is maintain and protect. The record of the information are applied with appropriate security classification, and has been organized according to the information in file cabinet and digital platform. Next is dispose or destroy. For the record have become inactive, the staff has to be retain the record according to the policy and government rules and regulation. The last one is archive or preserve. Some record has to be kept, and for some cases, they are moved or the record to an archive. It is very important to remove that to the archive because these records are indexed and searchable to facilitate retrieval if it is required. Financial management. Financial management is the planning, organizing, directing, and controlling. All of this is the financial activities that fund the enterprise. The objective of financial management is to ensure the regular and adequate in supply the fund the concern and to ensure to optimize the funds utilization. The function of financial management is estimation of capital requirement. The finance manager have to make sure of the estimation with regards to capital requirement of the company. Second, determination of capital composition. When the estimation have been made, the capital structure need to decide. It is depend on the proportion of equity capital and company. Third is choice of sources of funds. For additional funds to be procured, a company need to have many choices such as issue of share and debentures, about the loans and about the public deposit to be drawn. And the last one is choice of sources of fund. The finance manager also has to decide to allocate the funds into profitable ventures. So when allocate in one place, the safety of investment and regular returns is possible. Management in action. Management in action is one of the course that it is the local action that very reasonable in support and correct the situation and settle the conflict about the power performance or as. It is very important that management action can be considered as the first step in manage the performance and conduct any activity. By the way, there are some important of the document action that have been taken when we deal with the matter that related in conduct the performance. There are 3 documentation that have been known, such as the description of the matter, the step that have been taken to deal, and the outcomes of the step. It also have the benefits, and the benefit of management action is early the opportunities for employees to self-correct and improve the performance, prevention of the future in intenses the conflict of power performance, preservation for the productive working relationships between employees and experienced conflicts, to avoiding the unnecessary and protracted review or investigation into conflict matters, and to increase the engagement of the employees in the process through the intervention and support of a manager who has a detailed knowledge. For the last page, there is some reference that we get from our research in UMMU magazine. That's all. Thank you.